You know that weird switch when she gets closer, then suddenly feels far away. The chemistry is real, the vibe is easy, then her energy drops. And now you are replaying everything, wondering exactly where you ruined it. She does not always pull away because attraction died overnight. Sometimes she pulls away because attraction stopped feeling casual and started feeling real. That sounds backwards until you understand what closeness does to people. Closeness creates excitement, but it also creates real emotional exposure. And exposure makes people feel seen, vulnerable, and weirdly defensive at once. So when she pulls back right after things get good, panic is usually premature. What looks like rejection can actually be her trying to regulate rising emotion. It means sudden distance needs interpretation, not instant emotional collapse. Because people act smooth when nothing important is on the line. They act strange when something starts to matter and consequences feel real. The second the connection gains weight, old patterns come alive. If she has trust issues, closeness can feel exciting and threatening together. If she values control, emotional momentum can feel like losing balance. If she likes you more than expected, she may suddenly monitor herself harder. That is when replies slow, warmth turns uneven, and tension gets confusing. They feel the distance, get anxious, and rush in to force certainty. More texting, more checking, more proving, more hidden pressure inside polite words. And that pressure confirms the exact fear that made her retreat. Now she does not just feel vulnerable, she feels emotionally handled. Real attraction needs enough space to move without feeling managed. Because your reaction tells her whether closeness with you feels safer or heavier. If you get needy, she feels responsible for emotions she never agreed to manage. If you get cold, she feels punished for feelings she never explained. But if you stay grounded, the spiral often stops before it hardens. A woman can feel uncertain about the situation and still trust your stability. Look at what happened right before the shift started showing up. Did the conversation suddenly become more personal than usual that night? Did the flirting stop feeling playful and start feeling emotionally real? Did future talk sneak in and make the connection feel serious? Did she feel unusually understood, admired, or seen by you? Those moments seem positive, but they can trigger retreat fast. A lot of people enjoy being desired more than being known. Desire feels flattering, while being known threatens the image they control. So she felt unusually seen. Distance may be composure recovery, not rejection. Safety is not something you talk her into under pressure. Safety is something she experiences when your behavior stays calm under uncertainty. That means no dramatic messages asking what suddenly changed between you. No fake indifference designed to make her panic and return. No mature-sounding interrogation that is really just anxiety wearing better clothes. And no acting like your entire mood now depends on her consistency. Ask whether the distance feels temporary, protective, or truly directional. Temporary distance still leaves traces of openness under the hesitation. She may reply slower, but the tone still feels warm. She may cancel once, yet suggest another time without being cornered. She may go quiet briefly, then return with real engagement. Directional distance feels different because the underlying energy truly changed. The warmth drops, effort fades, and everything starts feeling strangely dutiful. Not every pullback is fear, a test, or hidden desire. Sometimes she is simply less interested and clarity beats fantasy every time. But when distance appears right after things became better, something usually happened internally. She felt the pace inside herself before you saw it outside. That is why the shift feels random only from your perspective. From hers, something crossed a line from fun into meaningful. And meaningful can trigger fear faster than boredom ever will. People are not always acting from decisions. Sometimes they are acting from regulation. She may need space not because she judged you badly. She may need space because she suddenly feels too much. It makes the moment human, which means your response needs precision. Emotional precision means you stop reacting only to surface behavior. Surface says she pulled back, so chase harder or disappear. Deeper reading says closeness triggered pressure, so stay steady and observe. A man with no interpretation usually collapses into insecurity and overthinking. A man with a bad interpretation usually collapses into control. A man with a good interpretation stays attractive because he stays clear. And clarity is magnetic because it does not beg reality to simplify itself. Sometimes she pulls away because things feel especially good with you. Not because you are boring, weak, or somehow too available too early. Because you are getting past her usual filters and that unsettles her. They do not know how to handle the possibility of something real. Casual attention lets them stay composed inside a familiar script. Real connection threatens to expose needs, hope, fear, and unfinished history. So the closer things feel to real, the stranger behavior can become. That is why promising connections often wobble in the middle stage. They wobble where feelings are growing faster than safety can support. You think intensity requires more intensity when it usually needs steadiness. You think silence must be filled when sometimes silence needs room. You think reassurance means convincing when reassurance is really calm behavior. That is also why over-texting after a strong date backfires so often. You are trying to maintain the high while she is still processing it. You are pushing for continuity while she is checking whether she feels safe. And when your urgency meets her caution, attraction starts feeling like pressure. Too much availability, too much explanation, too much emotional hovering. It feels generous from your side, but demanding from hers. Because now she feels like she must manage your anticipation too. That gets exhausting fast, and exhausted people create more distance. First, stop treating uncertainty like an emergency that needs immediate relief. Do not react instantly just because your nervous system wants comfort. Urgency is often discomfort speaking, not wisdom, patience, or perception. Second, match her actual energy, not your worst internal story. If she slows slightly, you slow too without making a scene. If she stays warm but less available, keep warmth without increasing pursuit. If she disappears completely, do not send paragraphs reopening the conversation. One clean message can be mature, repeated messages announce internal chaos. Third, watch whether she reinitiates once you give the situation room. Interest that needs space still usually finds a way back. Disinterest usually waits for you to keep carrying everything alone. Fourth, never punish distance with cold games or passive aggression. Punishment feels powerful briefly, but it reveals fragility almost instantly. Delayed replies, fake detachment, and subtle resentment all leak insecurity. And insecurity wrapped in strategy is still insecurity wearing a jacket. The strongest frame is not indifference, it is calm, emotional self-possession. You can want her without making her your emotional oxygen supply. You can like her deeply without losing balance around inconsistency. Because most men either over-pursue or emotionally shut down fast. Very few stay warm, observant, and unattached to instant reassurance. And that combination feels mature in a way words cannot imitate. Sometimes her pullback is not fear of closeness, but loss of tension. If everything became available too quickly, desire can flatten surprisingly fast. Not because games work, but because anticipation is part of attraction. This is why oversharing early sometimes creates fake closeness that burns out. You feel bonded because everything was revealed before trust had structure. Real connection needs revelation, but it also needs better pacing. Too much too soon can feel intense without becoming sustainable. So if she pulled away after a huge emotional rush, ask yourself honestly, did we build connection or did we only build momentum? Chemistry can sprint long before trust learns how to walk. And when chemistry outruns trust, someone usually hits the brakes. That does not mean slow is always better in every situation. It means pace matters because feelings need structure, not just sparks. Her distance is not always announcing what she feels about you. Sometimes it is revealing what she cannot yet handle within herself. And if you confuse those two things, you damage good situations. You either chase validation or start withdrawing your real personality. Both moves come from fear, and fear distorts your read. A better question is not why is she doing this to me? The better question is what this moment is asking you to become. More reactive or more centered in yourself when uncertainty starts pressing. More controlling or more perceptive about what behavior actually means. More desperate for closure or more patient with unfolding truth. That shift turns dating from chaos into a learnable skill. You stop taking every fluctuation as proof something is wrong with you. You start noticing patterns, triggers, timing, and emotional context much faster. You stop worshiping perfect consistency in the earliest stage of connection. Instead, you start watching for congruence over time and under pressure. Does her effort return once pressure disappears from the interaction? Does warmth come back when the moment feels less loaded? Does she move closer again after getting room to regulate? Those are better signals than one amazing date followed by panic. Keep your own life moving forward when she pulls back. Not as a trick to seem busy, but to stay balanced. Rumination makes her absence feel much larger than the actual truth. A full life keeps attraction from turning into tunnel vision. And tunnel vision is where awful texting decisions are made. Train, work, build, laugh, see friends, and return to center. When your life stays solid, her inconsistency loses power over your state. People trust people who are not quietly asking romance to save them. Another practical shift is stopping extra investment when behavior gets confusing. If she creates distance, do not suddenly increase effort to stabilize everything. Meet her where she is, instead of bidding for certainty. That does not mean getting cold, petty, or fake detached. It means letting reciprocity reveal the truth without forcing it. The right connection does not require constant detective work to survive. Yes, people get scared, but mutual interest still leaves evidence. It may be delayed, awkward, imperfect, or inconsistent, but it leaves something. If weeks pass and only you keep it breathing, believe that pattern. Hope is useful until it starts negotiating against clear evidence. Self-respect is not ego, hardness, or pretending not to care. It is staying open without abandoning your own dignity and standards. You do not need to decode every silence like your worth depends on it. You do not need to earn consistency by tolerating emotional confusion forever. And you do not need to romanticize chaos because chemistry felt powerful. Strong chemistry can exist alongside unstable dynamics, and that matters. Your job is not only to be chosen by somebody attractive. Your job is choosing the emotional environment you can actually thrive in. Instead of asking how to stop her from pulling away, ask better. Can I stay attractive, clear, and self-respecting while people reveal themselves? Because the most attractive man is not the one never confused. It is the one who stays composed long enough to see clearly. He does not chase every retreat like it is his final chance. He does not collapse into stories about being not enough. He watches behavior, respects timing, and keeps his identity intact. That is what makes him hard to manipulate and easy to trust. Not the speech, not the pressure, not the emotional performance. Just the quiet strength of someone who handles ambiguity without self-betrayal. So when she pulls away right when things get good, remember this. Closeness can trigger fear, intensity can outrun safety, and chemistry can overwhelm structure. Your power is not forcing clarity before reality is ready. Your power is responding with calm, boundaries, and accurate perception. That is how you stop losing yourself inside mixed signals. And that is how you become the kind of man confusion cannot shake. If this hits something real, keep sharpening that awareness every single week. Because social intelligence is pattern recognition guided by strong self-respect and calmness.